On Global Television News Express, 721 hashtag End Bad Governors Kid protesters released. Inspector General of Police orders probe on alleged mistreatment of minors. In business news, electricity distribution companies warned against metering abuses. On the foreign scene, America decides a knife-edge election. And in sports, Novak Djokovic pulls out of ATP finals. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express and Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Amina Jibril. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nigecomsat. The Federal High Court in Abuja has discharged and acquitted 71 teenagers from Kano State who were arrested during the hashtag End Bad Governance protest in Abuja. Justice Obiora Egwatu struck out the charge after application for the discontinuance was moved by Muhammad Abubakar, counsel to the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi. The minors were initially charged with treasonable felony for being found with Russian flags during the protest, but have now been cleared of all accusations. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered an investigation into allegation of mistreatment involving minors arrested during the hashtag End Bad Governance protest, as he emphasized that medical assistance was promptly provided, underscoring the police's commitment to the welfare of those in their custody. This comes as President Bola Tinubu directed the Attorney General of the Federation to ensure the immediate release of the minors detained by the Nigeria police in connection to the August protest, without prejudice to any ongoing legal processes. And the minors arrested and detained over their involvement in the hashtag End Bad Governance protest arrived at the presidential villa, Abuja, to meet with Vice President Kashim Shettima, as he is expected to hand them over to the respective governors who are expected to facilitate their movement from Abuja to their respective states. Governors of Kaduna, Uba Sani, and Kano, Abba Yusuf, were on ground at the presidential villa, alongside Minister of Education Tunji Alausa, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction Nentawe Yilwatda, and Minister of Environment Balarabe Lawal. Meanwhile, the National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, NAPS, has offered scholarship to the minors that were detained for participating in the August protest. Speaking at a press briefing in Lagos, the chairman of the association, Abdul Mumin Ukundak, said the awards would cover primary and secondary education. Governor of Ondo State, Honorable Lucky Orimison Ayedatiwa, has signed into law the supplementary budget for 2024 to meet the new financial commitment of the state government. The supplementary budget of 96,788,100,000 naira, as approved by the State House of Assembly, was signed by the governor at the Executive Council chambers of the governor's office in Akure, the Ondo State capital. Queen Agaba has the details.
Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa says the supplementary budget captures the payment of the new minimum wage of 73,000 naira recently approved for workers, as well as the salaries of newly recruited workers across various sectors. He says the supplementary budget reflects the determination of his administration to cater for the welfare of workers and the overall development of the state. Service Commission law, saying the new law will ensure inclusivity and better equitable representation from the mandate areas. For Global Television, Queen Agaba reporting.
The Federal Ministry of Works has directed Julius Berger, the contractor handling Section 1 rehabilitation of the Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano dual carriageway, to evacuate the project site. This followed a 14-day final termination notice issued to the company, dismissing any possibility of further negotiations. The ministry said the termination was based on non-compliance with the reviewed cost, scope and terms, stoppage of work and refusal to remobilize to the site, as directed in a statement by the Director of Press and Public Relations, Mohammed Ahmed. The ministry noted that negotiations had been ongoing for several months without any significant progress. The governor of Ondo State, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, has assured civil servants in the state that despite the financial challenges, his administration will never consider downsizing the workforce. He made this assertion during the 2024 Public Service Lecture held at the International Center for Culture and Events, the Dome, in Akure, Ondo State capital. Uyi Agbomofegwe has the details.
Governor Aiyedatiwa acknowledged the vital role the public service plays in national development, particularly in African countries. He stated that the public service needs to adapt and innovate to meet modern challenges, stating that the time has come for the service to be more proactive, innovative, dynamic, and technology-driven. He stated that the capacity of the institutions and their operators must be enhanced for effective and efficient service delivery.
Let me assure you that our commitment to prompt and regular payment of salaries, allowances and pensions is sacrosanct. I want to assure you that even with the financial burden that all of these may attract, our administration will never ever contemplate downsizing the workforce.
The governor also commended public servants for their dedication and cooperation over the past 10 months of his administration. He urged public servants to prioritize resource generation and management, advising them to block financial leakages and discourage frivolous expenditures.
In all honesty, the public service requires to be rejigged and equipped to upscale its roles and processes to meet the trends of the best work practices in public administration.
Earlier, the head of service, Bayo Philip, stressed the essential role of the public service in fostering forward-thinking governance and highlighted the administration's commitment to regular salary payments, pensions, and the provision of 2024 leave bonuses. He noted that this year's celebration emphasized the importance of public service in shaping a sustainable future for Ondo State.
We will strive at all times to discharge our responsibilities to facilitate the accomplishment of the policy focus of this administration. We will live up to the demands of our new mantra. Don't deliver short, don't deliver.
The governor further reiterated his administration's commitment to continue to prioritize the welfare of public servants, even in the midst of other financial demands. Uyi Agbomofegwe reporting for Global Television News.
The Zamfara state government has provided financial aid to students stranded at the Cyprus International University. The State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Wadato Madawaki, speaking at a press conference in Abuja, expressed concerns over the difficulties faced by the students. He highlighted the challenges the students encountered, emphasizing the need for transparency and accountability. Madawaki said 93 Zamfara indigents were sponsored to Cyprus International University by the previous administration, led by the former governor, Bello Muhammad Matawale, to study various courses in 2020, noting that the sponsorship process was marred by dishonesty and outright selfishness. An Ondo State governor and the All Progressives Congress governorship aspirant Lucky Aiyedatiwa says his administration will prevent cattle rustling and insecurity in the state to enable farmers go to their farms. Governor Aiyedatiwa made this known during the campaign tour to Akure North local government area. Kike Lomokere has the details.
One common issue raised by all traditional rulers of Ondo State during the governor's visit to Akure North to solicit their support in the upcoming gubernatorial election is insecurity. At Iluabu community, Governor Aiyedatiwa says his administration will strengthen the operations of Amotekun to check the issues of insecurity and kidnapping on the farmlands.
Measures have been put in place already to prevent this ravaging by cattle through our Amotekun, and we are strengthening their operations the more so that the issue of farm produce being ravaged or consumed by cattle will be the thing of the past.
It therefore warns any criminal element found wanting will face the wrath of the law.
But we try as much as possible in our state to make sure that crime rate is reduced considerably, and in case there's anyone, the security agents will be able to make arrest and prosecute whoever is found wanting.
The traditional rulers have all chewed their weight behind All Progressive Congress governorship aspirants, promising that the forthcoming election will be free and fair. From Akure, Kikelomo Okeri, Global Television News.
The federal government, donor agencies and private individuals have been urged to extend same priority attention to the Niger Delta as it gave to Borno State in the wake of recent flood disaster in the state. Former Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, Yekini Nabena, made the call in a statement issued in Abuja. He said the region urgently requires such attention due to ongoing devastating effects of flooding, which has destroyed lives and livelihoods. Nabena specifically appealed to the new Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Nentawe Yilwatda, and agencies like the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, the National Commission for Refugees, among others, to not close their eyes against the ongoing disaster in the Niger Delta region. He lamented that farmers in Bayelsa and Delta states are currently counting their losses as floods have washed away their cassava farms. He also called on government at all levels not to forget that all the waters causing disasters in the north and other regions choose to settle in the Niger Delta region, hence the need for more attention. The Christian Association of Nigeria in Ondo State has urged the governor and the governorship aspirant of Ondo State, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, to promote justice, equity and fairness in all aspects of his governance in the state. The president of the association, Reverend Father Olorunfemi Ologunwa, made the call at a church service to pray for peaceful conduct of the Ondo State governorship election. Kikelomo Okeri again has the details.
Speaking at the event, the President, Christian Association of Nigeria, Ondo State Chapter, Olorunfemi Ologunwa, urged the governor and the governorship aspirants of All Progressive Congress to address the need of the marginalized and vulnerable people. The clergy further urged the governor to foster economic development, which will create job opportunities and improve living standards.
We, all of us, we urge you, as we aspire for this enviable position in the state, to continue to uphold the principles of integrity, the principles of justice, the principles of compassion.
The clergy further urged the governor to strive and maintain harmony among all citizens, regardless of their religion belief.
As the position you are seeking to acquire, it's not only to govern, just as you said, and you said you promised God. Thank you very much. But to serve the people, ensuring their well-being and prosperity.
In his response, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa pleaded with the brethren to continue to pray and support him in his journey of governing the state.
I'm pleading with my brethren in the Lord, our leaders, church leaders, to continue to pray this government, to pray for us, to support us in our journey in governing this state. And now that we're also going to
election.
The Christian Association of Nigeria Ondo State Chapter reiterated their commitment to pray for leaders who prioritize the welfare of their people. From Akure, Kikelomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Members of the Congress of University Academics, CONUA, have called on the federal government to pay their withheld 3.5-month salaries, third-party deductions, and earned academic allowances. The Congress, in a statement by the national president, Dr. Niyi Shumonu, also said the promotion arrears of some members have lingered for over 7 years and that the issue should be looked into. The body also frowned at the exclusion of its members from the committee that will renegotiate the 2009 agreement university workers entered into with the government. You're watching News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. When News Express returns, electricity distribution companies warned against metering abuses. Details of this, as well as foreign and sports stories, coming right after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and now in business news, electricity distribution companies in Nigeria have been urged to prioritize the rights of consumers in electricity metering processes. Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, Tunji Bello, made a call in an urgent meeting between key stakeholders from Nigeria's electricity sector and the FCCPC in Abuja. Bello, who opened the session by stressing the importance of safeguarding consumers' rights in the electricity sector, highlighted systematic inefficiencies that continue to plague Nigerian consumers, particularly in relation to metering and billing practices. And President of the Petroleum Products Retails Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, Billy Gillis Harry, says oil marketers have clarified that they are not opposed to Dangote Refinery and are open to purchasing refined premium malted spirits from the Dangote facility. Gillis Harry made the clarification in an interview with journalists, stating that oil marketers would buy products from the refinery if all market conditions were properly negotiated and agreed upon. He also mentioned that marketers plan to meet with Dangote Refinery to solidify discussions and establish the groundwork for a cooperative working relationship. Moving on now to the foreign scene, election day voting has begun in the United States after an extraordinary presidential race that will either make Kamala Harris the first woman president in the country's history or hand Donald Trump for a comeback that sends shockwaves around the world. In this video, people queue and begin to vote at a polling station in Dearborn, Michigan, as Americans seize their final opportunity to participate in the fiercely contested 2024 presidential race between Democrat Kamala Harris and Republican Donald Trump. As the first polling stations opened, Democratic Vice President Harris, 60, and Republican former President Trump, 78, were dead even in the tightest and most volatile White House contest of modern times. The bitter rivals spent their final days of the campaign frenetically working to get their supporters out to the polls and trying to win over any last undecided voters in the swing states expected to decide the outcome. And the government of Equatorial Guinea has restricted its citizens from downloading and sharing multimedia files using mobile data on WhatsApp. This decision was followed by the guidelines that the country's government gave to telecommunications operators when it urged them to implement measures to restrict access to inappropriate content. This is coming after the Director General, National Financial Investigation Agency in Equatorial Guinea, Baltasar Ngonga, was arrested for allegedly recording over 400 sex tapes of the wives of notable people in the country. The scandal emerged in the course of a fraud investigation against the 54-year-old economist, which resulted in the search of his house and office on impromptu notice by ANEF officials who came across several CDs that later revealed his sexcapades with different married women. The videos reportedly include encounters with high-profile individuals such as his brother's wife, his cousin, the sister of the president of Equatorial Guinea, the Director General of Police's wife, and about 20 of the country's ministers' wives, among others. The footage discovered in his personal office was said to have been recorded with consent and has since been leaked online, causing a media uproar. The UK Health Security Agency has confirmed 2 additional cases of Clade 2 Mpox, bringing the total number of cases in the country to 3. These new infections have been traced to household contacts of the initial case, emphasizing the virus's potential for rapid spread in close contact environments, and both patients are currently receiving specialist care in London. Despite these developments, health officials are maintaining that the overall risk to the general UK population remains low. And a new UK-wide law aimed at creating the first smoke-free generation will be introduced in Parliament as part of a world-leading ban. The proposals comes after New Zealand revoked plans to introduce a so-called generational smoking ban that would have stopped sales of tobacco to anyone born after 2008. Health Secretary Wes Streeton said this in a groundbreaking piece of public health legislation, which means that the UK is creating the first ever smoke-free generation, so children growing up will never legally be able to buy cigarettes. And now in sport. Former Real Madrid striker Karim Benzema believes Kylian Mbappe must adapt to playing as a central striker in the Spanish capital, as he cannot displace Vinicius Jr. on the left wing. Mbappe completed a dream move to Madrid this summer after the end of his Paris Saint-Germain contract, but has not yet hit top form under Carlo Ancelotti. The coach has kept Brazil international Vinicius in his preferred position on the wing and has placed Mbappe, who favors playing on the left, in the center. Benzema told the Spanish television show that Mbappe is not a central striker, even with the national team, as every time he plays as a number 9, he does not feel comfortable because it is not his natural position. In tennis, defending champion Novak Djokovic has pulled out of the ATP finals because of an ongoing injury. The 37-year-old Serb, who has won a record 7 titles at the event, had already qualified as the 6th best player on the ATP Tour this season. Djokovic wrote on social media that he was really looking forward to being at the ATP finals, but due to ongoing injury, he will not be playing. Djokovic, who has won a record 24 Grand Slam men's singles titles, indicated last month that competing in the tour's year-end finals was not a priority. And now to end the News Express on Global Television, here's a quick look at some of our top stories. You heard that 7-to-1 #EndBadGovernance kid protesters have been released, just as Inspector General of Police ordered probe on alleged mistreatment of the minors. In business news, we heard that electricity distribution companies have been warned against metering abuses. And from the foreign scene, we told you that America decides in knife edge election. And finally, in sports, Novak Djokovic pulls out of ATP finals. That's it on News Express. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276, and free to air on Nigecomsat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. I am Amina Jibril. Thank you for watching.